Welcome back to episode number 17 of our podcast series, Building Better Relationships in Construction. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sabrina. Today's episode is based on the book Building Better Relationships, a guide to enhancing the customer experience for home builders, remodelers, and construction managers, by Paul Schwinghammer. We're diving into Chapter 17, Listening Well, the power of truly hearing your customers.
Yep. Paul's chapter here feels simple at first, but man, it's one of those things that changes everything when you actually practice it. So let's peel this apart slowly.
Slow is good. Okay, so Paul starts by saying effective listening may be the most valuable and underutilized skill in building relationships with clients, team members, and subs. It's not just hearing words, it's engaging with the person in front of you, their feelings, concerns, perspective.
That phrase stuck with me. Listening is not just hearing words, it's creating a space of respect and validation. And that space, it builds trust, even when you can't fix something right away.
Right. And Paul points out something that hits home in residential work. So many issues aren't mistakes, they're preferences. A homeowner hates a ceiling texture or wants a different light fixture. Those aren't objectively wrong. They're personal.
I've seen that so many times. A client will get upset about a paint sheen or the grain on a cabinet door, and the team's immediate reaction is to defend the work. It's standard, it's to spec. And then the whole thing escalates.
Exactly. Paul's advice is, stop trying to fix every preference immediately. Often what customers want most is to be heard. They want recognition, validation. That's the emotional currency here.
So how do we actually do that? Paul gives some practical behaviors. First, active engagement, eye contact, thoughtful nods, pausing to clarify and reflect. It's not just, It's, I want to make sure I understand. Tell me more.
And there's a real art to not planning your reply while they're talking, right? You can feel when someone's waiting to rebut instead of listening. That kills trust faster than anything.
Completely. I like Paul's example of a response when a client mentions dislike. I understand why that material or look is bothering you. Let me make sure I fully understand your perspective. Short, non-defensive, invites more information.
That line does two things. It shows respect, and it buys you time to actually understand. Oftentimes, once people talk through it, they see it was about taste, not a flaw, and their frustration softens.
Yeah, Paul gives that review threat scenario. Client wants to post negative reviews over a minor aesthetic detail. Instead of getting defensive, you invite them to show you what they mean, and you listen.
That part's huge. You go see it, you listen, and they often end up saying, "Thanks for taking the time to listen. I realize this is a preference, not a defect. I appreciate you hearing me." And trust grows.
Which, Paul says, is the point. Listening creates conditions for trust to flourish. It's not about convincing or arguing. It's about making a safe space.
And that's safety. Clients stop seeing you as transactional and start seeing you as someone who cares about their experience. That's loyalty building right there.
Paul also stresses listening with empathy and reading emotional undercurrents. So it's not just words. Pay attention to tone, body language, the things they don't say.
For example, a homeowner might be terse about the tile color, but their tone reveals deeper anxiety, maybe budget worries, or a fear that their vision won't be honored. If you respond only to the tile, you miss the bigger issue.
So when you detect that, you might say, I can see this has caused some frustration. That's understandable. Simple empathy lines make people feel seen.
Paul calls that making a deposit in the relationship bank account. Every time you listen empathetically, you build reserves of goodwill for the next problem.
That bank account metaphor makes so much sense in our world. Construction has setbacks. Schedules slip, materials get delayed. If you've deposited trust through listening, clients are more willing to work through those bumps.
Agreed. Paul doesn't just give theory, he gives practical tips. Let's run through them quickly.
Sure. Tip 1. Give your full attention. Turn off distractions. Don't be multitasking. Put your phone away.
2. Use verbal affirmations. Little things, I see. That makes sense. Encourage people to keep talking.
3. Reflect and clarify. Paraphrase. So what you're saying is, That confirms you've understood.
4. Be patient and gentle. Let them express their feelings fully. No interrupting, no rushing.
5. Respond with empathy. Acknowledge emotions and reassure them that you care about their experience.
Paul emphasizes that this listening is an investment. It pays in trust, loyalty, long-term relationships, and smoother projects.
There's an interesting point he makes about team members and subs too. Listening with respect isn't just for clients. The same approach helps the trade partners feel valued. So they're more likely to speak up early about buildability issues, schedule constraints, or cost flags.
Oh yes. When subs and crew feel heard, they collaborate more openly. You get early warnings instead of last-minute surprises.
Let me throw in a quick scenario that Paul describes. Client upset about a light fixture. Instead of firing off an explanation, the PM says, "Can you show me what you mean?" They go together, the client talks, the PM reflects, acknowledges, and the client ends up saying, "I'm glad you came to see it. I feel heard."
That line, "I feel heard," it's like an emotional mic drop. It solves maybe half the problem right there.
Because once people feel heard, their defensiveness drops and they're open to options. Then you can collaborate on solutions or compromise.
Paul also warns about the temptation to prove yourself, pulling out warranty documents or spec sheets. That's often counterproductive when someone's emotional. It's better later, after you've listened, to use facts if needed.
Good point. Facts have a place, but timing matters. First, empathy, then clarity.
Another subtle skill Paul notes is reflecting emotions back. Not just paraphrasing facts, but saying, "It sounds like you're feeling disappointed and worried this won't feel like home." That validates the feeling behind the words.
And validation doesn't mean you agree with every preference. It means you acknowledge the feeling as real and important.
Right? You might say, "I get why you're upset. That makes sense." Then move to problem solving. Together.
He also encourages curiosity, asking open-ended questions. Can you tell me what you like about the original option? Or what would make this feel right to you? That shifts the conversation from conflict to collaboration.
One more thing Paul highlights. Listening sometimes leads clients to realize their concerns are preference-based. After they feel heard, they may choose to keep the original choice and trust your judgment. That's a win.
Yeah, listening can actually prevent unnecessary rework. It calms people down, clarifies whether it's aesthetic or a technical issue, and often avoids costly changes.
So, practically speaking, train your teams. Make listening a measurable part of your client experience. Coach your managers to start conversations with lines like, "Help me understand what matters most to you."
Role-play scenarios, too. Practice pausing, paraphrasing, and asking open-ended questions. Make it part of your culture.
And, Alex, this ties back to company reputation. When clients feel consistently heard, they refer more, leave better reviews, and are willing to be flexible when things go sideways.
Absolutely. The investment in listening yields dividends across projects and time.
Before we wrap, any closing takeaways from Paul's chapter you want to highlight?
Sure, 3 short ones. 1, listening is active, not passive. 2, empathy and validation come before facts. 3, when clients and teams feel heard, trust grows, and projects go smoother.
Nice. I'll add, practice it daily. Little deposits in that relationship bank add up.
And, quick plug, remember, you can purchase your copy of the groundbreaking book, Building Better Relationships, a guide to enhancing the customer experience for home builders, remodelers, and construction managers by author Paul Schwinghammer on Amazon and Barnes & Noble in multiple formats.
Thanks, Alex. Okay, last thought, listening well is simple to describe, but it takes discipline. Turn off the autopilot responses. Lean in, ask questions, reflect. It's a practice.
Yeah, and if you start small, one difficult conversation this week, try those listening steps. See how it changes the results.
That's a great challenge. We'll try it and report back. For now, thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a teammate or a client. And subscribe for more episodes where we unpack Paul's book and turn it into real, usable skills on the job site.
See you next time when we cover another chapter from Building Better Relationships entitled Attending to the Little Things. I'm Sabrina. Take care.
And I'm Alex. Bye for now.